everybody, it's KayBeast, and for this week's art video I did some studies of landscapes in watercolor and gouache. I had a lot of fun doing the Floral Feb challenge with my last video and this past month, and doing small studies I found were easy for me to get into, and also a lot of fun because I was trying a new paint and, you know, trying to copy from reference and stuff, and I really enjoyed doing it, so I decided to start doing landscape studies. I've been wanting to do that for a while now, especially because I've been following this artist on Twitter and Instagram, Matt Cummings. His Twitter handle is Eiffel Art or something like that, yeah. And he's been doing a lot of landscape studies in gouache for the past little while, and every time it pops up on my feed I'm like, I want to do that, so I'm trying it out basically. So this first one I used watercolor and gouache, and mostly watercolor. I did more gouache near the end, and this is from a reference photo that I took myself of the White Mountains in New Hampshire. My family went on vacation there like, I don't know, like 10 years ago, and I took a ton of pictures with the intent of using them for art reference, and like never actually used them. I think I only ever used one photo for reference, and it was for a homework assignment in a painting class like 8 years ago. So I went through that folder and found a picture I liked and used that as reference for the actual painting. The painting doesn't look exactly like the reference. I did some modifications to it. It was partially, you know, that my painting wasn't as accurate, and also that I didn't do like a sketch beforehand, and then I got a little creative and added a few things that weren't in the actual reference. So like, if you're someone who's hesitant about using reference for your art, because, you know, you don't want to copy something, or you don't want to, like, you're worried about plagiarism or whatever, that's actually a really good way to go around it, is use it as a base to start, and then just start adding stuff. Take away things you don't like about it, add things from another reference that you do like, because using reference doesn't necessarily mean you have to copy it exactly. You can just use it as inspiration to jump off of, which is kind of what went with this. In particular, it was the shape in the middle right of the background. That was just literally just a hill covered with trees, but it got a little dark, and I was like, oh, why don't I use the gouache and try to make like a rock texture. So I made it like a blank cliffside, when in the actual photo it was just all trees. So that's kind of how that went. In terms of the actual like process of using it, I definitely need to practice more with like my washes and stuff, because my sky didn't turn out quite how I wanted it to, and making the clouds was harder than I thought it would be. It looked a lot easier in some of the videos that I saw, but when I was doing it myself, it kind of got away from me, so I have to practice my technique. It might have been how much water I was using or something. I don't know. That's why I'm doing studies. It's how you learn, right? Near the end here, though, I'm just using gouache, just straight up gouache on top of it. I have my gouache set up two ways. I have the actual tubes of paint in a bag, and I have an empty palette that I put fresh paint on when I want to use it like that. And then I also have my old watercolor palette, and I put some of my gouache in the wells there and let it dry. And then I use it out of that sometimes too. And I have noticed a difference in how it functions. The dried gouache out of that watercolor pan definitely doesn't work as opaquely as it straight out of the tube, which makes sense to me, but I kind of like having a little set of it ready to go whenever I need to, because if I put it on another palette, I would feel like I'd have to scrape it off later, which I hate doing. So I used a combination of that palette, that watercolor palette, and then fresh paint to build up detail and shadows and stuff, which I had a lot of fun with. I really like working with it on top of the watercolor. I like how opaque it is and how dark it is, and I was able to get finer details with it because the paint runs a little differently than watercolor does. So definitely gonna keep using that and try to figure out you know, how to work it basically. I'm gonna do a lot of studies, I think. I don't necessarily know if all of my art videos are gonna just be studies for a while. or not, but you know, if I decide to do a study and I'm really excited about it, I might record it for a video. I'm still kind of going with not planning my videos ahead too much and just kind of recording whatever art I happen to feel like making that week. So that's this one done. And I was originally only going to do one of them, but I was so just really hyped with the process, and I really wanted to paint more. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do another one. I have a ton of paper left. I had cut up a sheet into fourths, and I still had some lying around. I'm like, I'm just going to do another one real quick. And this one, the first one took me a few hours to do because I was figuring out the process, and it was way more detailed. This one I had done in an hour and a half, minus drying time, I think. Or no, with drying time, because this one I did real quick. One thing I was really excited to do was, I've been meaning to do fan art for Journey for a while. I did a digital painting for Journey like 2 years ago or something, and I've really wanted to do some more fan art for Journey because I love that game. It's one of my favorites. It's like top 5 for me. So I did a quick landscape study basically in watercolor and gouache of basically like the opening area of the game where it's just the desert with the mountain in the background kind of hidden in like a haze of clouds and like atmosphere and stuff. So I just kind of did that, and it was fun too because analogous color schemes are among my favorites, and that there's a lot of that in that game. So I kind of stuck with that. It's not monochrome or whatever because I use different shades of brown and orange and like sandy colors, but they're all kind of close together. So I did have fun working on this one, and I definitely intend to do a lot of little studies like this from video games that I enjoy. Probably going to do a bunch of Journey studies because I love the environment in that game, and then probably Breath of the Wild. One of the reasons that I got so like into Eiffel Art's landscape studies that he's been doing is because he did a lot of Legend of Zelda studies, and I was like, I need to do this like right now. So I'm probably going to do some of those myself as well. I took some screenshots on the Switch when I was playing last time, and then sent them to myself on Facebook. So I have some reference that I'm going to use for some paintings. So I'm excited about doing it, and I'm definitely going to do more of these. Like I said, just not sure if I'm going to record all of them or if they're just going to go on Instagram. I think it kind of depends on what's going on that week. In regards to that, definitely check out my Instagram if you want to see what art I'm working on, because it's all going to go up there. Whether or not it winds up in a video, it's all going to go there. And then with regards to Twitch, still doing that. I'm sticking to a loose schedule of every Sunday and Wednesday right now. It winds up being about 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because I'm still so new to streaming, I don't think I can really manage more than 4 hours at a time. I'm still kind of figuring it out. But right now I'm thinking of having Sundays just be my gaming streams, and I'm going to try art streaming on Wednesday. So next week Wednesday I'm going to attempt an art stream. The piece in question is also something I'm going to be recording for my video that week, so I have to figure out how to set up my webcam and my camera at the same time, so that's going to be interesting. But if you'd like to come join me in an art stream next Wednesday, if you want to know when it starts, either follow me on Twitch or follow me on Twitter, and I will make announcements about stream times and what I'm doing and stuff on those platforms if you want to stay updated on what's going on. And if any of you have done art streams on Twitch, please let me know. I'm always looking for new people to follow, and I'm always looking for tips since I'm like super new to it about how to set things up and stuff like that. So yeah. I guess that does it for this week's video. Like I said, I'm having a lot of fun with these little studies, and I'm learning a lot about the medium and also just about doing backgrounds in general. So I'm definitely going to continue doing stuff like this. So yeah. Yeah, that about covers it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on the social media for updates and pictures and all that other fun stuff. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!